Hello my friends, it's me Ria Peterson. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a lot of decorating. I live in the United States and we celebrate the 4th of July, and I am putting up some fun 4th of July decorations in my house. I'm going to be doing a couple of DIYs, including upcycling some decorations and making a few things from scratch, and just putting up some fun things in my house. My kids have been really excited about holidays lately, so I want to make it fun for them, and I want to share it all with you. If you're new here, I'm so glad you're here. If you're not already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let's get started. Okay, so here's what we're working with. I have a few like little DIY things that I want to do, and then everything else is just kind of wherever my heart takes me. This wreath is for the front door. I just got a spring flower one that I love, but this will only be up temporarily and I think it's cute. These are technically like Christmas pillows, but they're stars. So I'm gonna put these out because that goes along with 4th of July. I got lots of ribbons just to kind of make things festive without it being like changing out everything that I own. So I have a bunch of ribbon. I really loved this set mostly for all of the lace that was in it. I just thought it was so much fun. This, I'm gonna like upcycle this. I don't love all of the, what is this, gingham? I don't love all of these. Like, this is a lot for me. So I went and got some fabric. They are having a really good sale at Joann's. So I just picked up things that I liked a little bit more that I thought would tie in to my vibe a little bit. And these come off really easily. So we're gonna cut some strips and swap out these different colors. And that'll be fun too, is if I wanna change it up each year, or I'm gonna save these, so if I do end up liking these another time, I'll have them. I got just a fun little kitchen towel, and then this one's not like 4th of July specific, but I just thought this was really pretty. I got this, I think at Hobby Lobby? I don't remember. Just a little red striped jar. Got a couple little garlands. Got a fun table runner. And then just your flags. A lot of this is stuff that I had last year. This was a Target dollar spot last year, I think, as well as these stars. And then another DIY that I want to do. I don't have any skewers, so I'm gonna see if Connor can pick some up on the way home. I thought I had them, but out. I'm gonna make little rockets to stick into like the planter out front and then wherever else. I thought that would be a fun project with the kids so that they could feel like they got to contribute to the decorations. So that is the plan. I need to get skewers though, but I thought that would be fun. Just went to Michael's and grabbed some fun construction paper, scrapbook paper, and they had some fun stuff. So that is the haul. I'm keeping it minimal. I have like some faux flowers and stuff that I can stick in that jar. And for a lot of my stuff, I just think I'm gonna take ribbons and like tie them around just to make it a little bit more festive without it being too much for my brain. So that is the plan. I will show you how I do this. It's really simple. It's just cutting strips and swapping out pieces of fabric, but let's get started with that. We have all of our supplies for our first DIY, which is upcycling this garland. I did not love the fabric, like I said, and so it was a really simple thing to swap out. These are just tied on. I didn't feel like making an entire garland from scratch, and this way I can just keep swapping out the fabric if I want to. So I've pulled off the strip. I'm gonna measure it. I'm not going for perfection, so it's
going to be a little bit more of a rustic garland, which I love, but I just wanted to change out the colors and brighten it up and just make it more me. So I'm measuring it. I'm going to cut my fabric down to size. Yes, I need a new blade for my rotary cutter. I did not have one handy, and we're going to make it work. Like I said, this does not need to be perfect. It's going to be a little rustic anyways. So I'm going to cut all of my strips and get them tied on to the garland. I'm going to remove the old fabric as I go so that I can make sure that I get the pattern spacing right. But I really loved this idea. I was able to get the fabric very inexpensive from Joann's. They always have coupons, so I think I spent less than $10 on all of the fabric, and I had lots left over. And it was just a really fun thing to put together, knowing that I can swap the garland out. Like, I can swap the fabrics out whenever I want, change things up each year. I wanted something that would blend well with lighter colors and darker colors, which is what I'm going for with my decor. And this was just a really fun project. But once I got all of my strips cut, I'm going to put them on the garland and get that all set, and we will hang it up in the living room.
All that ever was is alright. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
As you can see, I'm very happy with how this turned out. As I don't know if you can tell, I like light and bright colors typically, and this garland fits in very well, and I'm just really happy with it. I'm just hanging it with some command strip hooks. You can see I have a couple other ones there, but they weren't quite the right distance, and I like to just keep the hooks on there so I don't have to take them on and off for every holiday. So we've got our garland hung. I'm really happy with it, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna tidy up the living room just a little bit and get our star pillows out and put out a few more decorations. I will show you all of the decorations once we are done, but we're just gonna keep kind of making our way through the house.
Time to borrow today. Well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today.
Well, this is where I'm incorporating a little bit more of a darker color. I'm mixing and matching with my color schemes here. So I've got this garland, and the only blue candle I had in the house, I didn't want to buy anything new, and this is a Bath & Body Works candle, so it definitely wasn't cheap, even though I had a coupon. So I'm just adding this, and then I'm gonna take the red and white striped jar that I had. I tied some of that ribbon around it, a few faux flowers that I had laying around, and I do like how this turned out. It's definitely different from the garland, but like I said, I'm mixing and matching shades of blues and reds, so I wanted that to tie into some of the other stuff. I forgot I had this like sparkle garland, so I ran and dug it out. I'm just incorporating a little bit of it into this plant. I had considered tying ribbon around it, but because I already had the kind of fabric ribbon garland and the ribbon tied around the jar on the ottoman, I thought that this would be fun and not make it just the same repetitive thing in the living room. So this is just red, white, and blue wired garland. I've had it for a couple of years, and I'm just cutting little bits of it and working it into these faux flowers. And I think this turned out really fun. It's subtle, but it still gives that kind of pop of the holiday, and it reminds me of fireworks, and my kids really, really loved it. last few pieces here in the living room, I just swapped out my flowers. I usually have a couple different types of flower in my decor closet so that I can swap things out depending on how I'm feeling. And so I pulled out the more muted creamy color and added something a little brighter. And then I'm adding this dish towel under my diffuser just to tie in more of the theme of the holiday. This one is a really simple way to just make it seem like you've decorated, but kept it really simple. It's just a dish towel. And finally, we're going to just add a few things to the piano. I love old books, and I had these two red and blue ones that I thought would go well on the piano. And I'm adding just one of the white stars I had in that set on the top and calling it good, keeping it really simple, using what I already had. We are moving on to our next DIY, which is these rockets. This was kind of freeform. I knew that I wanted varying widths of the rockets, but I just cut strips. This was a fun project to do with the kids, but you take your strip, you roll it however wide or tight you want it, and secure it with a glue gun. I was the one that ran the glue gun for the most part, but the kids did help with cutting, and then they came up with a few projects of their own after we were done. But we just mix and matched all of the paper and came up with some fun combinations and then made rockets. This one's one of the smaller ones. I have some larger ones as well. But once you secure it and it dries, you move on to the cone at the top, which is just a half circle. Like I said, I'm just eyeballing the strips, but you could very easily measure it to have it be a little bit more consistent if you want. But now that that's secure, we're gonna make our cone. Again, it's just a half circle that I'm wrapping around. I had my kids help cut things out, so there was some trimming involved. It's definitely a DIY project, if you can tell. So it's not absolutely perfect, but I loved being able to do a project with the kids, helping them feel included in the decoration. Once my cone was secure, I'm just going to attach everybody here. I'm going to run a line of glue around the tube, put them together, add the skewer, and I will show you all the different variations that we made.
I've got no regrets, I count my blessings, but I'm still getting no sleep at night. Getting out of the house, I heard an eagle in the top of a tree. I had to listen, I got a feeling it was saying something to me. I'm calling my father, telling him all the things didn't bangs and the crashes on the way to my dreams. Although I'm a mother, I could need some advice, a little pat on the shoulder for that long bumpy ride. Always going forward, and no one is stopping me. I keep on running from my failures, my doubts and miseries. Everything is as it should, but when then will there be light? I feel like I'm dreaming of symphonies, but I'll keep writing lullabies. I'm calling my father, telling him all the things didn't bangs and the crashes on the way to my dreams. Although I'm a mother, I could need some advice, a little pat.
We made enough so we could have some outside and some in the house. So I'm just adding a couple into our planter. I have some tiny flags we can add as well. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. And honestly, while I was putting out these decorations, I had another idea for another DIY with supplies that we already had. So we're gonna make that next.
So I had all these scraps left over from from doing the garland. And so I'm just making like a little rag hanging flag. I had this dowel. I wish that they were longer, but I want to loop it. Like I don't want to sew or glue anything because I might use these for something else another time if I want to take it apart. So all I'm doing is cutting a little a little slit, and then I'm just tearing them. So I'm just making like a little rag garland, and then I'm gonna grab some of the like lacy ribbon that I have as well and kind of incorporate that in here. But I think it'll be really pretty. I think I'm gonna hang it on the mudroom door where I usually have like a wreath or something. So I'm just gonna tear a bunch of these and hang them on here and put it together. I think it'll be fun. This should be fun.
I'm calling my father, telling him all the things, didn't bangs and the crashes on the edge of my dreams. Although I'm a mother, I could need some advice, a little pat on the shoulder for that long bumpy ride.
Well, like I said, this project was not planned, but I am so happy with how it turned out. It's just one of those things where you start creating and then you want to keep creating. And it's just a simple thing of another like tassel or rag thing, but it was just a really fun one to put together. And I thrive when I have projects that are a lot more freeform. If it has a lot of more rigid steps, I am less inclined to do it. And this one was really simple. It could be whatever I wanted it to be, and I'm just using supplies that I already had. So this was a really fun one to put together. It's kind of a flag vibe, but it's just all of these like rags that I've tied together along with the ribbons. I am adding it here. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with this door, and so I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's very simple, but it is definitely just making my heart sing. I love how this one turned out. But to finish up the entryway, I'm adding this star garland that I had. I got this last year and it was on the mantle originally. I have been easing into the themed decor. I didn't decorate for a lot of holidays for a long time, but as the kids get older, it's definitely something that I've prioritized more, especially with my youngest, Alice. She's 4 and she absolutely loves all of the decorations. So I am enjoying bringing that into the home, making things more exciting for my kids, and it has grown on me. I have found that I am enjoying it more as well. I'm not big on change, but these have been really fun projects. The entryway is done. I just have a few odds and ends to add to the kitchen and the dining room, and I'm just kind of going freeform, adding ribbons, and I have some rockets left over, and I still have like the sparkle garland that we had in the living room as well. So I just wanted to make this jar a little bit more fun. It sits behind the sink, and I had all these ribbons, so I thought this would be a simple way to give it kind of that fun, chic, ribbony vibe that we have throughout the house, but also keeping it really simple. So we've got our ribbons here. I had 2 stars left from that set to add in, and that is it for this corner here. Yes, my orchid is done blooming. She needs to be repotted. That is for another day. But speaking of pots, I did tie this ribbon around here just to give it a little bit more. I didn't want to do too much in the kitchen. I often don't. I like to keep it simple just because we cook in here. I like having the surfaces really clear. So the kitchen definitely is not the top priority with decor, but I still want to make it fun. So I'm going to keep just adding decorations around the house. We are almost done, and then I will show you the final product.
Stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest. You're the leaves in mid-August, and I've come out here to say
my friends, that is everything that I have for you. I'm very happy with how everything turned out. Everything was really fun to put together, and it is definitely 4th of July in my house, but it's not overwhelmingly so, which is typically what I'm going for with my decorations. I am so thankful for the time that you've spent with me. I hope this gave you some ideas on things that you can do in your house, give you some ideas for things that you can make with stuff that you might already have, which is my favorite kind of project. And overall, I just hope that you enjoyed this. If you aren't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and continuing to hang out with me. Give this video a thumbs up. It definitely helps out my channel, get out there to more people, and I just so appreciate the time that you give me. And I really hope that you are doing well. Let me know down in the comments if you decorate for holidays like this and what you like to do. I so enjoy hearing from you, and I will see you next time. Bye.
That I love you.